Okay, good evening, everyone. This was not how I planned to start the evening. Basically, I put out a tweet around 7 o'clock saying, okay, I need about 20 minutes. Basically, I did a video for someone. It's still sort of in the process of being made, and it needed some upload time. Needless to say, I went in, tried to get everything sort of cleared out as far as the timing is concerned, and while I was waiting for that to finish, so the first 20 minutes didn't quite turn out, so I put it on an alternative site, um, go off to do some other stuff, make a coffee, and proceed to crash. As in my sleep, not anything else. So I'm probably starting around the time I would normally finish. And I absolutely have to get some stuff done tonight, which means that I may need to do a shorter stream, and I apologize for that because there's absolutely nothing I could have done for anyone. Hello, Algrins. But that's the reality. I'll try and manage things as best as I can. I know at midnight I'm definitely going to do a sort of thing that I normally set up. But yeah, I'm kind of under the gun here as far as getting delivering this thing. But I also really wanted to make sure that I streamed tonight because we are doing more Old World. Actually need to make sure that I have the right music setting for Old World. But yeah, I'm really into this. Olaf, it's so late for you, but thank you very much for stopping by. Okay. But yeah, anyways, I really did want to have the 7 o'clock start. Excuse me. And just running off doing the other thing. Yeah, well, hopefully that's not the hour that I'm going to be finishing the video work. But in any case, I will resume the game. We were playing Carthage on this one. And I will just say that I was given a key for this from Hooded Horse. I am obviously very great. I'm very happy you're here, Olaf. I whenever I wind up missing stuff, I'm a little conscious that you're the one who kind of suffers for it. So, but anyways, yes, I was given a key for the new Sacred and the Profane DLC. This was released about a week ago, I think. Now, I want to be clear. So the reason why I pointed out the key is just it's the disclosure side of things. I hopefully have established my enjoyment of Old World, but it's one of these things that's good to disclose. Now, the one thing I will say for the DLC is that I feel like I think I'm kind of clear in terms of some of the extra events. I think the Sacred and Profane events, which are kind of like the bulk of the new material that's added, it seems to me like those get a special sort of scroll border. I'll try and point it out when I can. The big one for me is that I really like the way that they have taken on religion in terms of the game. This is actually, I noticed that basically on Reddit and things like that, there's a few people who are kind of coming in saying, "Hey, is this game worth playing? Is it worth getting the DLC?" Obviously, my answer to that sort of stuff is always yes. But I think one of the things that I noticed in terms of how I was talking about how I talk about the game to people and what I think the Sacred and the Profane is doing, and why this is like an appropriate DLC for Old World. I really like the fact that Old World is one of the few games that tries and takes the idea of, history not just sort of being this. Sorry, I'm going to sound very Hegelian or very Marxist, but like, this inevitable result of sort of these grand forces, driving humanity forward. There are people who sort of wind up in, the situations that are sort of thrust upon them. I'm sorry, now I'm going to sound Shakespearean. Well, I was not going to be that eloquent, but some are born great. So. But the I guess the thing I'm trying to say is, you can find yourself in exceptional circumstances. You may or may not rise to the occasion. I was thinking 12th Night, but I'm pretty sure it's 12th Night. But this actually, the simplest example that I could give. Sorry, I just got a message from someone. The simplest example that I could probably give you is, you've got the great, leader, achieves many things, golden age for the kingdom. The heir perhaps does not share the discipline of of their predecessor, and things sort of fall apart. That's something that can happen inside of Old World, and specifically, it's because one of your jobs as a ruler is to not just rule, but to train or to make sure that you have the next generation. You lose if you don't. But training them is part of the job as well. And one of the challenges is that what might be good for you from like a gameplay or a character point of view, sometimes you don't have the choice, or sometimes it's not even necessarily the right thing for you individually to try and do the right thing. So I think this game does a really good job of creating events which will allow you to act very much like your character might. The sorts of things that would give you an incentive. There's a lot of times where we like to think we will do the right thing, and then you look at the incentives put in front of someone, and they make exactly the choice you think they're going to do. Now, you might say that's moral weakness. You might just say that is the way that the world works. Certainly, I think the people who are able to sort of rise above what we might consider, more petty or more, how do I put it? Kind of more selfish goals are very admirable. But, in some cases, I don't know, at the risk of sounding completely mercenary, it's hard to blame some people when sort of you just look at the circumstance. I mean, in the end, you just kind of say, it's like, would I really have acted that differently inside of the situation? So the reason why I'm going on about this is not to sort of indicate my low moral character, but rather to just highlight the fact that it's not just sort of little RPG mechanics added on, but it's something quite central to the game. This will affect, potentially it'll affect your legitimacy. It'll potentially affect the types of things that you can do as the leader of an army or the head of a city. And the reason why I think the Sacred and the Profane is a really interesting idea for a DLC is that obviously religion is an incredibly personal but very important kind of a personal and important part of life and the types of decisions that people made. why did the Roman Empire become Christian? Well, probably it had something to do with the number of Christians running around. But it would certainly be hard to say that the personal religious decisions for people were relevant to their decision making. Maybe not Rome, but and then I guess the other thing is that religion in the time period for this is just so interesting, right? You have messiahs all over the place. You have, these tremendous things, these great wonders being worked by people, and these fascinating characters sort of running around, getting groups of followers, and some of them sort of fall into obscurity, and others will lead organizations or sort of write down teachings that are still considered to this day. And all of this stuff is sort of present inside of Old World. It's not just you're moving your settler around and getting another city built. You are kind of playing a role in terms of how the world shakes out inside that context. So, anyways, I didn't do a very good job of sort of articulating why I'm really interested in this DLC, but hopefully that will come across as I run through. And I'm pretty sure the full quote that I was trying, just in case, hopefully I didn't lead anybody astray. I believe the full quote that I was trying to run around with was, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. I might have the order wrong on that, but that was that's almost certainly 12th Night. All right, so we've got a free settler coming up with the next turn. I need to figure out what I'm doing with my luxuries. Right. Barbarian invasions. We're gonna get some discontent, I think. And then I need to promote some units. The best way for me to promote units is to actually just go to war. I believe it's both the Danes and the Gauls. Yes, I mean, they both like me. Oh wow, the Thracians only have one? So, I mean, the ones who only have one city-state, I don't think it would hurt to... I actually really don't think it would hurt for us to do a little expansion. It'll certainly put me in a better position. Okay. Let's end the year and see where it goes. You're now known as Dido the Good. Okay. Let's see where I was working. Okay, so I think military drill was one of those things that I wanted to say, oh, let's make sure we get that next time. But forestry is a really hard one to turn down. So they want to recommend military drill, and I can see why, because the barracks, that will definitely align with my promote a unit 10 times goal. But again, it's hard to turn down forestry, although I have sort of been clearing out the woods, so it's going to be a while. I still think this is the right call. Okay. I think I should force march. marry into the Didonians to try and make nice. Okay. So let's think about the next site for a city. Okay, well, we've got that, so move the settlers closer to the region. And yeah, I think the answer here is just to hire the skirmishers and take out the Danes. So let's, before I do too much more, let's make sure the workers all have something to do. Now we finished a festival here. I could just keep hammering down the discontent, but maybe what I want to do is try and I think I want to try and make the most of my citizens. Okay, so yeah, the stonecutter will add to my borders. I do also want to build walls, but we'll take it one at a time. Okay. So we don't have husbandry yet. Okay, right, this was for the bullion. The Odeon is certainly tempting. So I'm just trying to think where... I'm just trying to work out where my urban centers are going to wind up going. Okay, but I don't want to build something that requires stone right now. Well, okay, no, it's religion, so. Okay, so normally I'd want to put the next iron mine here for the little triangle, but that doesn't quite work here. So why do they want me to put a shrine to Eshmun here? Healing for idle units, but this is kind of... This isn't really anywhere where I need it right now. So if I head down here, I could build the Odeon, right? Nope. That has to be in an urban tile. So here they want a garrison. Now the interesting question would be, where do I get the barracks and the range in the surrounding area? Yeah, I'm actually really in danger of entombing the urban areas. If I do forestry here, which I don't have to, but it might be an idea nonetheless. We've got quarries which are built here. Yeah, I'm not really giving myself a lot of opportunities for urban expansion. I'm going to put down the Odeon, though. And I am going to pay to cut trees. I don't think that was the best... To be honest, I don't think that was the best turn as far as... Ooh. Persia's now at a truce with Thracians. The Hanging Gardens has been completed by Hatti. A new marriage proposal from the Didonians has arrived for you, Queen Dido the Good. I think we will handle Shada the Builder. This is just because it's all positives for the stats. So clearly this unit is not enough. The discontent is going to go up in the city as a result of the attacks. So, obviously we're going to need to reinforce Lilibeum. I think, though, let's get the show on the road as far as taking on the Danes. The court awaits your command. Shall we declare war on the Danes? Proceed with the war preparations. Carthage is now at war with the Danes. Now again, this isn't exactly getting me the experience that I want. I think I'm actually just gonna prioritize military units movements in this case. Oh dear, what am I gonna do? I'm kind of forced to do the farmer, I think. I'm not able to afford the slinger because I used up all the stone. Yeah. A lot of idle builders. Terrible. Reports of a tribal raid from a Scythian outpost near Lilibeum. Prince Pharoan and Princess Consort Batbal have given birth to a son, Duke Bodashtart. Okay, I can't remember who I was going to give this to. So we have got... Looks like it was going to be Magonids unless there was a really good reason. Yeah, we can work with lumber mills here. Okay. Let's start with... I'm gonna hate myself for doing this, but a slinger. This unit needs to run and heal. Well, actually, maybe they stand and heal. We don't have the resources for an amphitheater, but we can at least move them. And again, we're sort of stuck. I don't know, I feel like I'm mismanaging with all of these different wars going on, but then again, like getting getting the kingdom back in control. The unrest is unreal here. Hell, the Queen Dido the Good has taken a serious turn for the worse, and she is now severely ill. As the enemy descends upon Lilybaeum, King Pygmalion of Tyr approaches you with a suggestion, or I think Tyre. He proposes that the prisons of Lilybaeum be emptied and the prisoners conscripted into the army. They wouldn't be trained, but it would be an effective way of bolstering your armed forces. We can conscript the prisoners, or I will not risk the trouble. Nope, let's go for it. The fair. An odd thing happened at the conclusion of the festival in the city of Carthago. Your people, and those who attended from neighboring lands, did not want the good times to end, and for more than a week after you formally brought the city-wide celebration to a close, street vendors remained, and the entire city continued to maintain a festive atmosphere. During that time, you had the opportunity to wander the streets, disguised, of course, so as not to draw undue attention. And you got the opportunity to meet many of your people in person and see what foreigners truly thought of your fair city. As the people of the Scythians impressed you, particularly Tergato the Scythian, a skilled mercenary, and Marsaget, a merchant of some renown. After speaking with Queen Opiah about the matter, you have convinced her to agree to allow one of them to enter your service. It would be, if you would be willing to compensate the tribe for their loss. Queen Opiah also mentioned something else. She recently came into possession of a supply of exotic spices. She would be willing to part with them if you're interested. You may have your pick of any of these three. What say you? So we can add a courtier, one or two courtiers. We can add the spices or wondrous offer, but it's not something we can afford to take advantage of right now. Now, more luxuries wouldn't be bad, although I haven't been making the most of them right now. I'm doing okay for... You know what? Let's add more soldiers. So new court soldier, Tergatao has joined the court. Her experience in matters of war will help keep Carthage safe. Maximum civics stockpile. Your national stockpile of civics has reached 2,000. This is the maximum amount of civics that can be stored, with any excess being automatically converted to science at a rate of 10 to 1. To make full use of your civics, consider using them to enact laws, hurry production in cities with developing culture or better, or to appoint counselors and send them on important missions. I will use my civics to maximum effort. So I believe these are the sacred and the profane DLC events I was talking about. Shrine of the Healing God. Ambassador Azurbal the Younger rushes to your side upon hearing of your illness. He conspiratorially whispers that he has heard of a cult in Carthago where the priests attend a sacred spring with healing properties. Upon inquiry, the priests demand a huge sum of money and say that they will use the cost to open their services to all. Will you accept their price? Do whatever they ask to get the healing. Priests be damned, force your way into the spring. Or stick to your doctors and herbs. Interesting. Yeah. Let's open the cults. So we clearly need more stone, and we've got mountains beside us, so let's keep going, and then of course we'll just make sure that we expand out to the east with the city. Can I withstand another set of attacks? Hopefully. Glorious. Okay. Carthage is going to need to defend itself, and it doesn't have a slinger. So many things I want to do. Let's get that slinger done. Okay, I'm going to skip this unit. We don't have the stone for the amphitheater. So I might do something with this guy. I actually don't remember what I was going to do with this unit. I seem to recall it was going to be a theater to deal with the discontent. I don't know why I skipped them. So they may wind up attacked, but actually... I need to move this unit. Okay. That's a little more like it. Pygmalion of Tyre, your brother has died. Prince Pharoan, your son, is converted to Carthaginian paganism. Spartacus the Thracian has converted to Carthaginian paganism. Farewell, brother. It pains the court to bring you news of your brother's untimely death. The capital mourns. I actually won't miss him. Court merchants have arrived from Persia with an offer of trade. They believe our nations would grow and prosper from improved trade relations. What is our response? Provide orders for iron. We are willing to share science for iron. I feel like my iron supply is fine right now. So I think we'll say we prefer not to trade. I just don't like the deal that's in front of me. Three years before forestry. Okay. Just throw them into the thick of it. Sapinbel is the general, the slinger. They can become a tracker for extra vision, herbalist for extra heal, or I think we'll just add the courage. I tend to like going for the stats. What do I have selected? It's a little unit on cool. Yeah, let's move outside the walls. The final surge. The air weighs heavy with a dark haze and solemn triumph as your armies raze the last known settlement of the once mighty Danes. One sturdy building of stone and thatch remains among the ruins. Ash underfoot and a thick black smoke overhead, your soldiers approach. As they draw near, weapons ready, a chorus of battle cries emerges from the hut, followed immediately by several fierce warriors, bloodlust in their wild eyes. So extra legitimacy, but elite marauder, skirmishers, and warlords surround me. Well, that's going to make life interesting. They're gonna murder the crap out of me. So yeah, if I'm in the urban tile, it seems that I have better odds. How you doing, Ascanius? I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. Bring in some reinforcements. I might need to mobilize the slinger. The thing is, I've been trying to keep everything sort of contained. I can, however, start getting some promotions in. Okay, let's... I think I gotta repair the damage first. Production, miner's pretty much the obvious choice there. Well, it looks like we can afford an acolyte right away as well. Corrales, we've got our stonecutter, we don't have civilians. I could put another festival on to help with the discontent, but let's start with walls. Marauders have finally shown up. Actually, it did say this will increase discontent, but honestly, what do I think's going to happen if I let the Marauder just continue running around my land like that? So this is going to seem kind of crazy, but I actually want to give them an excuse to attack something other than this city right now. I really do not have a lot of options here. Maybe I should buy some stone for the theater. 227? It's expensive, but... And I think the mine will have to do here. Oh. Mine, all mine. See, I was going to start moving on the Gauls right away, but I think we just need to take a break. Kite, my goodness, man, how are you doing? I'm sorry I'm a little out of it today. Let me just take a quick second here and shout out my wonderful companion Kite. It's weird to call. I don't know what the proper term is for someone you only know online. Oh man, you and me both, Kite. I got some stuff in the works that I think you're gonna like. I think you've seen me play Old World before, but this is very much in the vein of games that I know you kind of like me talking about. So I'm gonna do my best to try and explain the DLC again. So Old World is a game that sort of takes place in the early stages of civilization. In fact, one of the things that I think is interesting about this is you, rather than sort of the big balanced start of the game civilization, you're kind of the new kid on the block with all of these established powers. So you need to be very polite. But one of the things that's great about this is its focus on rulers and characters, and the fact that, you know, people don't just automatically follow your will. You need to give them reasons to, you know, to do things, right? It's the actual whole governance side of things. And this new DLC is called The Sacred and the Profane. So very appropriate for the time. Actually, I'll take a second here to bring up the Steam page just to mention the specific things that are coming up. We can still be friends if it's online, I think. Most of the people I talk, yeah, that's good. I never like saying the F word, you know, for someone else. It makes me I mean, it's terrible, right? Because somebody's gotta say it the first time. But yeah, I don't want to like be too pushy or presumptuous. But yeah, so just to give you an idea of some of the historical characters that they added: Mani, the founder of Manichaeism; Paul, the fiery Christian convert and early bishop; Josephus, Jewish rebel general and scholar; Ostantes, one of the rumored great magic users. Now, I read up a bit about this guy. This guy is nuts. This is definitely the sort of thing that, for those of you who like the Cultist Simulator stuff that I do, he feels like a character that could just come straight out of that. Sappho, the Greek poetess; and Hypatia, Alexandrian scientist and philosopher, and one who sort of fell at the hands of very zealous Christians. So, one of the things, and 350 new events, clergy characters, religious dissent, cults, all sorts of good stuff. And I think one of the reasons why, okay, so part of the reason why I think this is an interesting DLC is because I really like the film The Last Temptation of Christ, which I think does a very good job of creating this feeling of a world where people like really feel like miracles can happen. And this is something that you'll sort of hear about every day. And, you know, some of those figures that you have in there, so, you know, the Apostle Paul, for instance, you know, a persecutor of Christians, has this religious experience on the road to Damascus and becomes, you know, an incredibly important figure in, you know, in Christianity. Again, responsible for, is it the majority of the New Testament? Anyways, there's a whole lot of the New Testament comes from him. So, given the fact that this game is focused individually on characters, and it's a period of time in which sort of these religions, if we're not formed, at least, you know, they're the periods of time that we associate a lot of activity and all of the very famous stories with it. To put them in this environment where kind of you as a character will be interacting very directly. Again, you know, when you're thinking of Last Temptation of Christ, you're looking at this, you know, like, I think a really good example of this would be if you take a look at artists' depictions of, like, John the Baptist, and, you know, this very serene scene where, you know, the heavens open and the dove comes down and all of that. The depiction of John the Baptist in Last Temptation of Christ is like this crazed hippie commune. And I don't know, like there's a degree of authenticity behind that, which maybe, you know, you understand why the religious art takes the look that it does. But again, it's just such an interesting period of time and a very different way of thinking about the world than what maybe you or I would take for granted. And, you know, as a result, I don't know, it's stuff that I just kind of find interesting. I don't consider myself a particularly devout person, but, you know, as somebody who's interested in history, and again, as someone who likes this game because of its individual events, you know, religion gives not just it's not just a series of motivations for your characters, but of course realizing the time that it takes place, the consequences of personal characteristics have, like, basically there are consequences for that, right? The fact that this very influential prophet or this wise man or something will have this particular preference, and they're the ones whose work survive, means that we go down path A where instead we could have gone down path B, right? So, you know, I suppose the really famous what if would be Gnosticism, which sort of they considered, at least some group of them considered themselves Christian, but I believe was one of the first groups considered heresy. What if that had become the dominant form of Christianity instead? You know, that would clearly be a very different kind of religious experience, religious worship than the form that it ultimately took. I'm certainly not going to argue better or worse, I'm somewhat sympathetic to what I at least read about the Gnostics, because they seem to think it's all about knowledge and stuff is really hard and everyone's not going to make it. um, but I don't know. It's fun stuff, and again, I think it's really ripe for these individual encounters, these these little story bits that help shape your character and shape the world as a result. Right, they went for Carthage after all. Always having been a bit sickly, Queen Dido the Good has now become severely ill, and Hannah of Corrales has died. Alright. So, things are not looking great for us. I'm going to put as brave of a face on it as I can. Let's start throwing rocks at the barbarians. Now, I'm okay losing sort of the supplemental units. I do not want to lose... No. Do not want to lose sort of my elites. Although I didn't think I'd lost all three, so this is going to hurt for Lilibaeum, I think. I think in this case, let's sentry this slinger. Carthage, what do I want to do with you? I think somebody still needs dyes, right? Yes. So I think the time has come for the Fisher, as much as I'd like to do a few other things here. Lilibaeum, I don't think I can afford to do the repairs. Well, let's try. I don't think a slinger would be inappropriate here. It's just going to take a really long time. So can I expand my borders at all? Ah, yes, the stonecutter. That gets me my third. Okay, we can't build the theater yet. We've discovered the Gulf of Sipontum, and we've also found Assyria. You've encountered a rival nation. Rival nations are your primary opponents in Old World. You may engage them diplomatically, which would lead to gaining a powerful trade partner and ally, or declare war on them and conquer their territory. You decide which nations are worthy of being your allies and which should simply be conquered. At some difficulty levels, other nations begin the game already established with a number of cities, units, and improvements. If you hover the mouse over Assyria's name in the leaderboard at the top left of the screen, you can find out important information about them, such as the number of cities they have, how strong their military is, and how developed they are technologically. Also, with whom they are currently at war or peace. To conduct diplomacy, you must appoint an ambassador, which requires aristocracy. I will do my best to make some friends. So, I am worried about a couple of things. Number one, I'm worried that they are going to take this city site from me. And then number two, I'm worried that they are stronger than me. They do count as stronger. Actually, they've got a city site here, not something settled. Interesting. Okay. Can't promote this unit yet. Yeah, we'll end the year. Reports of a tribal raid from a Gallic outpost near Keralis. Queen Dada the Good is on the road to recovery and is no longer severely ill. Oligarch Imlis the Judge has died, and King Consort Shada the Builder is now head of the Dodonian family. Ambi the Ranger is converted to Carthaginian paganism. Ambassador missions. You can use your ambassador to conduct diplomatic missions. Just select the portrait of your ambassador in the top right, and you will see their available actions in the panel on the left side of the screen. An ambassador can make peace with nations and tribes, form a trade mission offer, and demand tribute, and more. I'll use my ambassador for diplomatic missions when I can. Dido is the governor of Carthage, or Carthago. Let's try for wisdom, actually. Okay, keep throwing rocks. I want to do my best to take this guy out. Maribal, the general of the warrior, and is the general of the warrior and a court minister. So we can go for the wisdom. They get an extra crit chance. Charisma will give them more defense, and discipline will give them XP. I mean, the XP is kind of tempting. I think I'm going to do charisma here. Hold the line with the unit. I believe we can finally build the theater here. Let's keep going for our quarries. See what else we can find about Assyria. There's no good options here. I think I'm going to start some walls. I have some ideas about how I'm going to shift the sort of the empire overall. There's a lot of repairs that I need to do, but yikes. The pyramids are completed by Persia. Duke Rabbit is now old enough to be tutored by courtiers. Okay, we've got our lumber mills now. That's good. I think we'll go for husbandry just because there's a lot of pastures I can build. That'll give my workers something to do. Ooh, it'd be good to build the Colossus. Okay. Let's get some repairs. Actually, you know what? Maybe I don't want to repair this. Well, Nah, I'll stick with it. It would have been better to have this shrine here, but I'll live with disappointment. Okay, we gotta heal you. Let's go charging in. Feel naked without the force. Paid function. The citizens of Carthago trust in our justice and leadership. As a result, city leaders wish to strengthen the legal system and encourage more people to participate in the judicial process. They are considering the formation of a mythophoria, a paid function that provides jurors with a salary. Such a position would be costly, but it would make Carthago's court second to none. So we can establish it and lose some money. Require mandatory jury service, or stay out of the legal system and get extra orders. Okay. So, I become a judge, no longer a diplomat. Yeah, we're not doing that. Extra civics and culture. Yeah, I mean, I do want the money, but time passes quickly. Duke Rabi is growing up fast and is eager to learn. How would you like to educate him? I think we want somebody a little bit more military focused. That's going to be 2 generations from now. I'm going to skip, or no, I don't need to skip. I can cut the trees actually. I can also clear the land because that's going to wind up with an iron mine when the time comes. Okay, first things first, I want to promote this unit. Make them an eagle eye. I think we definitely want to meet the... enemy. They are gonna be able to damage us, but we've got a pretty good position. So the one thing I don't want to do is have them just sort of running around my territory, kind of taking the fight to me. Now, I can go for more stonecutters, or I could go for more... I could go for a farmer. This kind of shows how this is a one-note city right now, and clearly I should be working on the discontent. I am also eventually going to need to invest more in my army. So some warriors wouldn't go amiss. 7 years though. Kind of feel like we need to do the farmer here, given the specialty district. Okay. I am very tempted to go for the Colossus because we can afford it. I will content myself with a lumber mill, though. Everything I want is kind of it costs stone, so I'm trying to think, maybe getting slingers built is the higher priority right now. Okay, let's go. And yeah, if I'm gonna build a shrine, I think this is a better one for... Yeah, the healing shrine I think is better in this region. Now I've got... Okay, so I'm building urban buildings here. I've got the iron down. Eventually we'll be building... Oh, I know what we're going to do. It's going to be for the quarry. Now you... So first question, why did I build a mine here? Was it because there's a hill and then I can build the third here? Kind of curious if I did it for that reason. Okay, let's get the tutoring in. This is going to be a military focused one. So Spartacus is probably... Oh no, we've got more courageous people. So sadly, the general is busy. Oh no, Spartacus is good for it. Yeah. Okay, let's also think about... So clearly... Oh no, hang on. My orders are taken up. I was thinking about playing nice with the Didonians. You are now known as Dido the Beloved. Queen Dido the Beloved is severely ill, suffering from a high fever and constant shaking, leaving her barely able to walk. My general is converted to Carthaginian paganism, and Ashnat of Nora has died. We've heard reports that Duke Rabin struggles with his tactics training. Perhaps we should explore educating him in philosophy instead. Leave him, but hire a better tutor. We can afford basically anything, so... Death, God, and Taxes. Inspired by the religion's perceived mistreatment within Carthage, the Carthaginian pagan leader, Patriarch Bostar the Pious, has come before you to demand a favor. The noble patriarch asks that Carthaginian paganism temples are given a tax exemption to better serve the gods. A grant like this will certainly make friends with the priests, but are you willing to make the exception? Can I adopt it now? Nope. So I can have a disappointed leader of Carthaginian paganism. That's going to have some consequences, but I get the discipline. I just want to see the consequence of untaxed temples. Well, bonus culture. Yeah, let's go for it. Hey, no problem, Kite. Thank you very much for hanging out, and we'll be in touch soon. Yeah, I got some fun stuff to share. Actually, before I do that, if I get in close... No, okay, that isn't enough to take him out, so... Glorious. Alright, so that's the barbarians dealt with. We're gonna have to move up north to deal with these barbarians. Looks like they've reestablished themselves. So there's a few things that I want to do here. Number one, I want to make sure that there's basically a slinger in all of my cities. But I think it would also make sense to just sort of have like little pockets. So one of the things that I struggle with in this game is I still sort of treat it very Civ-like. I mean, I guess in Civ you don't necessarily just have one big army that you move all over the place, but like given the orders, you can see how costly it was for me to just try and drag the army all over the place. So one of the things that I wanted to do here is maybe we have a little pocket of, you know, maybe some slingers and a couple of swordsmen, and then, you know, similarly we have. I mean, we'll have the bulk of the army here just because we plan on going to war with the Gauls. We're going to need to take on the barbarians, and now Assyria is in this area. In fact, this is not a bad place for us to go to war with them, just because, you know, there's this narrow area which, if we can get control of, we'd be in pretty good shape. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Right now, I kind of need to... Number one, I kind of need to get the contentment back. I need to make sure that my infrastructure is in place. I kind of need to do a few things to get the Empire back in shape. I'm going to keep making quarries as long as there's mountains for me to work. Okay, we're going to... this unit sit here. We finished the theater. So I can build a garrison, but there's the quarries here, so this doesn't really give me a lot. But I could build an amphitheater. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to get them building a pasture when the time comes. Now this one can build the amphitheater. It does run counter to this idea of building a slinger in every city. But I am going to need to improve the culture, so that I think I can live with. And this unit is now ready to build the mine. Okay, I do want to start putting some points into my units, because Dido's probably not long for this world, but we should be able to get some early upgrades in, I think. So we kind of knew... Oh, that wasn't the one I was expecting for. Alright, your doctors and diviners have warned you that the end is near. Time to get your affairs in order. So, the priority is going to be to promote 3 units no matter what. Reports of a tribal raid from a Scythian encampment near Lilybaeum. Tabiba of Carthago has converted to Carthaginian paganism, and King Consort Shada the Builder is severely ill, suffering from high fever and constant shaking, leaving him barely able to walk. Recent Persian wars have left King Cyrus the Noble of Persia with a severe need to re-equip his army before the next campaigning season begins. Iron, wood, food, or gold would be welcomely received. Sadly, we're in no position to give aid, and this is just because I don't know if he'll honor the favor to Dido. Like father, like son, rumor has it that for better or worse, Duke Bonstart is showing signs of taking after his father, Prince Feroen. How this influence will take shape is yet to be seen, and apparently got too many negative traits in the subsequent rulers. A chilly reception, visiting the family home of your husband, King Consort Shada the Builder. You receive a chilly reception. Stories of your indifference towards him are not new, and despite your role as the powerful ruler of Carthage, you are still responsible for the Didonians' beloved Shada. If anything, this visit has been an omen of things to come. The Didonian are powerful, and it would be unwise to further chasten them. Shada has more sway than you realize. So I will spend time lavishing them with affection. Keep them entertained with various tutors and amusements. I can definitely do that. No, this is it. Yeah. King Consort Shada the Builder is now influenced by Queen Dido the Beloved. This is more about maintaining rather than... I don't want to give up 7 orders to become beloved. As our treasuries fill with the finest luxuries, the Maganid family has come to demand a cut of the wealth. They desire more of our collected dyes, or they will make our job of governing difficult. Yes, I was going to do that anyway, so... Jesus. Shada's rasping breath shudders uneasily through the room, a clear sign that your spouse is close to death. Sensing that you are losing hope, Yzbal the Judge comes to you with a local folktale. It speaks of an adventure where the hero walks into death to save her love. Yzbal has studied the stories and is ready to perform the ritual used by the hero, but there is a cost. It requires that the hero is sacrificed so she can enter the lands of the dead. Offer yourself a sacrifice, send one of your service in place, or refuse to partake in the ritual. Hey, we got nothing to lose. Through the fire. Yzbal the Judge guides you through the stages of the ritual, grinding down a series of herbs that you do not recognize into a thick paste. The sludge-like mixture is sour on your tongue, but there is little time for such thoughts. Visions of the lands of the dead fill your senses, and you fall before Pluton, asking the god to allow you to take Shada's place. In your dreams, Pluton is moved by your sacrifice and decrees that you can both leave. When you wake, King Consort Shada the Builder is sitting by your bed, a picture of perfect health. I'm going to bring up the article just to see what it was. Heroism of Alcestis. Oh, that's right. I don't have a live screen anymore. All right, so I'm going to read the Wikipedia article that this linked to, or the section at least. The greatest aid Apollo gave to Admetus was persuading the Fates to reprieve Admetus to his fated day of death. According to Aeschylus, Apollo made the Fates drunk, and the Fates agreed to reprieve Admetus if he could find someone to die in his place. Admetus initially believed that one of his aged parents would happily take their son's place of death. When they were unwilling, Alcestis instead died for Admetus. The scene of death is described in Euripides' play Alcestis, where Thanatos, the god of death, takes Alcestis to the underworld. As Alcestis descends, Admetus discovers that he actually does not want to live. I think my wife's fate is happier than my own, even though it may not seem so. No pain will ever touch her now, and she has ended life's many troubles with glory. But I, who have escaped my fate and ought not to be alive, shall now live out my life in sorrow. The situation was saved by Heracles, who rested at Phere on his way towards the man-eating mares of Diomedes. Heracles was greatly impressed by Admetus' kind treatment of him as a guest, and when told of Admetus' situation, he entered Alcestis' tomb. He repaid the honor Admetus had done to him by wrestling with Thanatos until the god agreed to release Alcestis. Then led her back into the mortal world. According to other accounts, Persephone, queen of the underworld, instead brought Alcestis back to the upper world. My Shada has returned. All right. No! I don't have the pasture yet, so we'll just pause on that. Okay, so again, promotions are the priority now. We got 200 for that. 280. Not looking good. 100. Okay, we can get this done. You are now known as Dido the Noble. You've completed an ambition, promote units 10 times. Okay. I am pleased. So I'm going to move and heal with the... Or actually, it said there was another raid coming, so I think we'll just stand and heal. We finished the fissure in Carthage, so I want to get some walls up. I'm also going to need to do some festivals at some point. I also need to deal with my specialists. Okay, I'm gonna keep one of the. I'm gonna keep one of my citizens. Let's start with walls because that's gonna help us with the discontent. We've got a slinger here now. It's probably a good idea to build a warrior. Actually, before I do anything, we're going to build a worker because we need to improve the tiles. We'll skip you for now. And this is the last... Wow, I've got 12 movement. Okay. And I can't enter that territory. I'm happy to be a spy. Yeah, so I'm clearly underdoing it. Like, I've got way too many orders and I've got so many people running around. So, I can try and get people to do actions. Let's try a trade mission with Persia. I think anything else we try to do will be dead before it finishes. But we've got our eloquent, debauched, and greedy ruler. News arrives from Persia that King Cyrus the Noble of Persia is dead. A new ruler, Queen Astar the New of Persia, has taken the throne. Their opinion of you is now upset. Zoroastrianism has established the dualism theology. Queen Dido the Noble, governor of Carthage, has died in office. Matan of Carthago has converted to Carthaginian paganism. Aristat of Utica has died. Spartacus the Thracian has tutored Prince Rabin, improving his discipline. Alright. I can get a free court scholar, or I can start working on some other priorities. I feel like we need... Well, we do need the military drill. I'm going to take the scholar, though. How you doing, Vanguard Master? Queen Dido the Noble of governor of Carthage has died in office, or Carthago has died in office. So we'll choose a new governor. Traditionally, I put the leader in here, but they're actually going to be increasing the discontent, which is the last thing I want. So even though they've got great traits otherwise, I am slightly inclined towards Zanbak the Merchant because of their ability to draw back the discontent. And they do make the growth go up. Or we can go for the science. I think we'll put Zanbak the Merchant in place. Arbald, the Builder, is the general of the warrior, and he's too old and is retired from the field. So we'll choose a new general. Pharaoh the New looks to be a decent choice for... Well, we've also got Spartacus, who's a hero. I think I'll put King Pharaoh in there. Salde. Okay. There's a few things that I want to accomplish here. I'm going to start with a slinger. Carolus, we've got the walls already. So now is actually time for us to start building more warriors. End of an era. Bells ring, mourners fill the streets. Queen Dido the Noble has died. 65. It is the end of an era, and all of Carthage pauses to honor the contributions of our fallen ruler. Oh, I didn't realize you were working on a tough bug like that. I'm glad to hear that, Vanguard Master. And I am glad that the stream is relaxing for you, Algrins. I'm feeling like I'm kind of screwing it up, but... Alright, long live King Pharaoh the New. Patriotic fervor. Your coronation has been met with a wave of patriotic fervor as subjects from across the nation seek to serve the new ruler. How shall we harness this enthusiasm? Organize a labor corps to improve lands? Train with the army to increase morale, or encourage artisans to move to our capital. Let's improve the capital city. Visiting Astar. With the death of King Cyrus the Noble of Persia, rule of Persia has passed to Queen Astar the New of Persia. Once the murmurs of shock from the court die down, the messenger reveals the main purpose of her visit. Astar has invited you to visit Persia on a diplomatic trip to visit the new ruler's lands. Try to befriend, use the trip as a chance to spy and learn about their lands, or refuse to attend. I'm not crazy about I'm not crazy about losing legitimacy, but I am going to try and befriend them anyway. Oh, looks like there's Persia Delenda Est coming up. We can't afford this right now. So I know exactly what Wikipedia article is going to be coming up, but let's open this up. Carthago Delenda. I particularly like the fact it's Carthage getting this. Ceterum autem senso Carthaginium esse delendum. Furthermore, I consider that Carthage must be destroyed, often abbreviated to Carthago delenda est, Carthage must be destroyed, is a Latin oratorical phrase pronounced by Cato the Censor, a politician of the Roman Republic. The phrase originates from debates held in the Roman Senate prior to the Third Punic War between Rome and Carthage. Cato is said to have used this phrase as the conclusion to all of his speeches to push for the war. The phrase employs a delenda, a feminine singular gerundive form of the verb delere, to destroy. The gerundive, or future passive participle, delenda, is a verbal adjective that may be translated as to be destroyed. When combined with a form of the verb esse, to be, it adds an element of compulsion or necessity, yielding is to be destroyed, or more commonly rendered, must be destroyed. The gerundive delenda functions as a predictive adjective in this construction, which is known as the passive paraphrastic. The short form of the phrase, Carthago delenda est, is an independent clause. Consequently, the feminine singular subject noun Carthago appears to be the nominative case. The verb est functions as a copula, linking the subject noun Carthago to the predictive verbal adjective delenda, and further imports the deontic modality to the clause as a whole. Because delenda is a predictive adjective in relation to the subject of the noun Carthago, it takes the same number, singular, gender, feminine, and case, nominative, as Carthago. The fuller forms of seritum senso delendum esse Carthaginium and seritum autem senseo delendum esse Carthaginium use the so-called accusative and infinitive construction for the indirect statement. Each of these forms, the verb sensenso, I opine, sets up the indirect statement delendum esse Carthaginium, that Carthage is to be destroyed. Carthaginium is the subject of the indirect statement, is in the accusative case, while the verb esse is in present infinitive form. Delendum is a predicate adjective in relation to the subject noun Carthaginium, and thus takes the same number, singular, gender, feminine, and case, accusative, as Carthaginium. Any questions? Although Rome was successful in its first two Punic Wars, it vied for dominance with the seafaring Punic city-state Carthage in North Africa, now Tunisia. It suffered a number of humiliations and damaging reverses in the course of these engagements, especially at the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC. Rome nonetheless managed to win the Second Punic War thanks to Scipio Africanus in 201 BC. After its defeat, Carthage ceased to be a threat to Rome and was reduced to a small territory that was equivalent to what is now northeastern Tunisia. However, Cato the Censor visited Carthage in 152 BC as a member of the senatorial embassy, which was sent to arbitrate a conflict between the Punic city and Massinissa, the king of Numidia. Cato, a veteran of the Second Punic War, was shocked by Carthage's wealth, which he considered dangerous for Rome. He then relentlessly called for its destruction and ended all of his speeches with the phrase, even when the debate was on a completely different matter. The Senate refused to follow him, though, especially Publius Cornelius Scipio Nasica Corculum, the son-in-law of Scipio Africanus and the most influential senator. Corculum opposed the war to preserve Roman unity and argued that a fear of a common enemy was necessary to keep the people in check. Oh man, that's just like I've talked about the indirect way that Canada is responsible for American independence. That's exactly the same argument that they made in Parliament. I completely forgot. So they were probably referring to just this point. I got to read the original documents. on this. Not the Rome, the parliamentary debates at the end of the 7 Years' War. Like Cato, he ended all of his speeches with the same phrase: Carthage must be saved. Carthago servenda est. Cato finally won the debate after Carthage attacked Massinassa, which gave a casus belli to Rome, since the peace treaty of 201 BC prevented Carthage from declaring war without Rome's assent. In 146 BC, Carthage was razed by Scipio Aemilianus, Africanus' grandson, and its entire remaining population was sold into slavery. Africa then became a Roman province. The notion that Roman forces then sowed the city with salt is a 19th century invention. Historical literary sources. No ancient source gives the phrase exactly as it is usually quoted in modern times. Its current form was made by English and French scholars at the turn of the 18th and 19th centuries. While German scholars have used the longer ceterum sensu Carthaginium delendum esse, ancient authors quote the phrase as follows. Pliny the Elder, in his Natural History, Cedo cum clameret omni senetu Carthaginium delendum. Aurelius Victor, in his De Viris Illustribus, Marcus Porcius Cato, Carthaginium delendum sensuit. Florus, in his Epitome of Livy, Cato inexplicably odio delendum esse Carthaginium pronutiabat. Why do I want to learn this? Therefore, Pliny the Elder, Florius, and Pseudo Aurelius Victor quote the phrase Carthago delenda est in indirect speech. Instead, only a paraphrasic translation is the Greek rendering of the Catonian phrase by Plutarch in his Life of Cato the Elder. Videtur e hoc mihi Carthaginium non debere esse. It seems to me that Carthage must no longer exist. The phrase is sometimes fully adopted in modern usage and somewhat paraphrased as a learned reference to total warfare. In 1673, the English minister Anthony Ashley Cooper, 1st Earl of Shaftesbury, revived the phrase in the form delenda est Carthago in a speech before Parliament during the Third Anglo-Dutch War, comparing England to Rome and the Dutch Republic to Carthage. Not actually a bad analogy. In the 1890s, the London newspaper Saturday Review published several articles that expressed anti-German sentiment, summed up with the quote, Germania est delenda, Germany must be destroyed. In 1899, Russian writer Leo Tolstoy retained the phrase's form Carthago delenda est for the title of a pacifist essay condemning war and militarism published by the liberal London newspaper, the Westminster Gazette. John Harold Paquis, a broadcaster for the German-controlled Radio Paris in occupied France between 1940 and 1944, had England like Carthage shall be destroyed as his catchphrase. The phrase was used for the title of Alan Wilkins' 2007 play on the Third Punic War and for a book about Carthaginian history by Richard Miles. In a modern setting, the syntagma certum sensio, used by itself, is refers often to an often reiterated statement, usually a core belief of the one issuing it. Words of Cato the Elder were often paraphrased by a Polish Eurosceptic, member of the 8th European Parliament, Janusz Korwin-Mikke. At the end of his speeches, Mikke would often conclude with the words, and besides, I believe that the European Union should be destroyed. Former Dutch politician Marianne Thieme, once a lead candidate for the Party of the Animals, always concluded her speeches in Parliament with the phrase, furthermore, we are of the opinion that factory farming has to be ended. Let me try the Dutch. Voets zien we van mening dat in einde moet komen aan de bio-industry. Referring to Carthago delenda est. Let us say that the modern versions of it perhaps don't quite have the same punch. The courtier, Tergado the Scythian, has been making waves, ending all of her speeches with a call to eradicate the dangerous rival nation of Persia. Allow her to distract the council with fruitless debates. We'll lose some civics for that. Publicly denounce this hothead. We'll do it. We'll do anything. Just please shut her up. Allow her to distract the council. The blood of heroes. The Hanonid are hosting a festival in their cities to honor the hero god Melkart. The family are celebrating that their scholars have traced their bloodline back to the legendary hero. Will you refute this claim? So we can accept their claims and lose legitimacy, or claim the bloodline as our own. We're doing it. Your leader, King Pharaoh the New, is a diplomat archetype. A diplomat leader receives a 60 boost to character opinion from all other leaders. Are also the only archetype of leader who could propose alliances to tribes and nations. I'll make the best use of my leader based on their archetype. Okay, there is a lot to get through, but first things first, let's get a quarry down. So the invasion's coming. Oops. Okay, I can get you back to Carthage. Sheep time. We can do better than that. Oh wow, we're at the end of the year already. Okay. I think we should play nice with people. Let's try and get... Let's try and influence them. Bonstart is now old enough to be tutored by courtiers. A popular board game. A new game has become popular in Lilibeum. Rumor has it that the game is a variant of another type of game played in far-off lands, though nobody knows for sure. Whatever the origin, the game is remarkably simple, needing nothing more than a series of holes and some seeds or stones to be played. Players place their seeds in pits, as if sowing. On each turn, players rearrange their seeds across the pits, trying to capture some of the opponent's seeds in the process. The winner of this game can claim to be a more accomplished planner and landowner. So one of the things that I really like about these, there's different references to different games. So I believe this is Mancala, but it's actually kind of fun to guess the board games that they're referring to in this. Maybe I'm just easily amused, but... Okay. Encourage it to be a pastime in Lilibeum, or is a game fit for aristocracy? We definitely want to get the discontent down. Physical confrontation. An incident at the Tactics Academy requires your attention. Prince Rabbit instigated a physical confrontation with one of his drill masters, breaking the man's nose and knocking out several of his teeth. The military instructors seek restitution for this insult to their honor. We must pay for Rabbit to continue his trading. It's time for him to come home, or... Nope, this is the best place for him. Proud, cruel, or intolerant. Time passes quickly. Duke Butterstart is growing up fast and eager to learn. How would you like to educate him? Let's make another politician. Fuel for the fires. The Hananid family are staunch worshippers of Carthaginian paganism, often calling upon the favors of Melkart. Their family head, Ambassador Azurbal the Younger, has come before you, claiming that the gods have demanded a show of dedication from the people of Carthage. What will you command? We will ensure the sacrificial pyres never die out, to produce 1,000 wood. There are many gods, and all deserve praise. Enact polytheism, or the gods can fend for themselves. Let's go to produce wood. Especially because we're going to be able to put down some... lumber mills soon. This is the wrong choice. Would have liked to have healed them, but... Okay, last unit to move. I think we just push it as far ahead as we can. Well, if we take Acer, we get elephants. That's as good of a reason as anything to... Okay, let's get... Trying to improve courage if I can. I'm going to change this slightly. I want both to get tutored, so I don't want to move the... I don't want to move the scout if it means I can't tutor my child. Okay, this is the politician, so we want charisma for them. Alright, that's a little bit more like it. Prince Rabi has begun to consider everyone, including his instructors, beneath him. He is now proud. Thubabith has converted to Carthaginian paganism. You have successfully exerted your influence upon King Dowager Shada the Builder. He's become influenced. Our ambassador, Azerbal, has completed his mission to establish a trade network with Persia. The Persians are willing to trade, but the terms are not generous. So you could trade stone for orders, stone for science, or stone for civics. We'll prefer not to trade because I actually have use for that stone. Trying to think where I want to send the Jade. I don't think I'll make that decision quite yet. Carthago. I don't think I've ever used caravans, and I should learn. Nope, not what I wanted. Please tell me about caravan missions. Okay. Caravan units can be sent on a caravan mission in a foreign capital. Caravan moves once a turn, costing 1 order, and upon safe arrival, unit is consumed, producing a lump sum of money and an opinion boost. Okay. I don't hate that. but maybe we use our civics first. So there's a few things that we want to do here. We want to manage the discontent. Ideally, we want to get that moving downward. We also want to start thinking about how I'm going to improve the city. So there's a few things that I can do. We've got the farmer here with the wheat. Got a shopkeeper that we can upgrade. I do like the extra science that we get from that. So the way it seems to me, if we go for the elder shop, so I believe we already have a shopkeeper. So I'm kind of curious whether this means that I actually just get +1 because I'm upgrading it by 1, in which case it's one of the worst returns, or if this is like the best that I can get. Well, yeah, then there's the bonus growth per culture level. I think we'll still go for the elder shopkeeper. Okay, Lilibeum, we start by repairing damage. The mine's not as important right now, but then we definitely want to queue up the slinger. Citizen defense. The eager citizens of Utica come forward, wishing to help support the city's defenses. They have the will, all they need is the direction. So they can automatically construct walls or conduct emergency training drills. Definitely the walls. Trusted, your time on the frontiers has earned you a reputation as a general of skill and a defender of the people. Everywhere you pass, young people are eager to sign onto your banner, determined to be part of something magnificent. What is to be done with all these eager new recruits? So we can organize an auxiliary force. So this would give us another militia, or send volunteers back to Lilibeum for training. We will send them back for training because I don't use militias all that much. Okay. I think it's high time we got some pastures. That's the last one, so... I'm glad they didn't go for Lilibeum. Reports of a tribal raid from the Scythian encampment of Salde. Alright, so basically these guys are going to be stuck here forever. A new court scholar, Emils has joined the court. Her curiosity and insight will aid Carthage in unraveling the mysteries of the world. Okay, I'm happy to have the extra scientist. I really do not need the extra food here. So the game's recommending the spoked wheel, which will give us the chariot. Or we can finally finish administration and labor force. So why is it recommending the chariot? The spoked wheel is a tech that's useful on multiple fronts. It allows you to appoint a chancellor who can aid in the managing of your families and cities through various missions. Why is the image not popping up? Thank you very much, Nexus General. And Sunflare, 87th of your name, thank you very much for the follow. Yes, Nexus General, I apologize. I know you're probably looking forward to some Terra Invicta. I gotta find a way to balance the two, but Hooded Horse very kindly gave me a key for the Sacred and the Profane, the new DLC for Old World. I do appreciate seeing the use of the System 1 HMM. I will definitely return to Terra Invicta, but I wanted to give a good go of the new DLC. One, because I really like Old World, but number two, it was, it was the event. It was the time-sensitive event. So, and hello, Beepo, I see you. I know you're lurking though, so I'll keep that to myself. But thank you for resubscribing, Nexus General. I appreciate that, and I hope you're doing well. Okay, so Yeah, I mean, it's nice for labor force. I could go for freedom, which would give me some extra money. I guess I don't really need the money, though. Yeah, no, the more I think of it, even though it takes a while, the spoked wheel does make sense here. Boastful heir. The royal family of Assyria visits the court. During a feast, Prince Banatu, the romantic of Assyria, makes a shocking boast about how much better a ruler she will be one day. King Ashurbanipal the Strong of Assyria chides her for her brashness and turns to us for support. You rule well, and so will Princess Banatu, the romantic of Assyria, one day. Well, it's good that our drunk, greedy new ruler is a charmer. False gossip. Rumors suggest that Tirgato the Scythian has been asking questions and probing into your personal affairs. We should put any false gossip to rest as soon as possible, lest our rivals seek to profit from them. So we can pay to put her suspicions to rest, lead her astray with false information, or I will not play along. Interesting. I think we'll just pay to put the... Descended from Astarte. The legends of Carthage say that Queen Dido brought the high priest of Astarte across the seas with her, promising him and his descendants the position of high priest in her new city. Patriarch Bostar the Pious, the current head of Carthaginian paganism, claims that the rights of the role have dwindled across the years and is looking to restore the position to power. So we can give Patriarch Bostar control of the nation's education, appoint him to the role of special advisor, or refuse to grant any more powers. Control of the nation's education. Alright, well, I'm just going to keep building lumber mills until I have to stop. Let's go for the pasture while we can. Okay, so I've got my mines. I don't want to put the shrine here. Again, I want the shrine somewhere close to the front lines if I can. But it does invite the question, what do I want to do with this builder? I genuinely do not know right now. That's a problem. I'm going to skip those two for now. Let's keep throwing rocks at the bad guys. Okay, so I can extend my borders with a miner, or we put in a master acolyte. I kind of feel like extending the borders is the thing to do right now. I mean, I guess the hamlet makes sense. That's a way I can sort of make a suburb and get out of this little... Yeah, you know what? The more I think of it, the more I like that option. Okay. Once upon a time, I think we're going to put a shrine to start here, but I think I either need to put down a granary or I'll put down another farm. That's not good. Spartacus the Thracian has tutored Prince Rabe, improving his charisma, and Tirgato the Scythian has tutored Duke Bodestart, improving his courage. Disputing teachers. In a shockingly indecorous display, Imlis the scientist publicly fights with Bodestart's tutors, claiming that their ways of teaching are outdated and stale. Imlis asks for this opportunity to tutor Bodestart herself in the newest schools of thought, inculcating skills in the child that would really push them to greatness. So, go experimental as needed, and my heir becomes intelligent or insane. pay to give additional training or back away slowly. Experimental is needed. Now that Prince Rabe has completed his study of tactics, how shall he contribute to the court? Oh, sorry, Bodestart is second in line. So, Schemer, Master of Whispers and Courtly Plots, or Commander, a disciplined battlefield leader. I think we go Commander. Okay, more pastures. Eventually I'll heal, but not today. Bodestart is currently becoming a politician, so we want to boost their charisma if possible. 18's my best chance. Okay, have a good one, Algrins. We're getting more options for special buildings. I may regret this because they are going to come in and hurt me, actually. Okay, looks like they're not going to be able to seal the deal. Okay. I'm going to put the farm down. In the case of Duke Bodestart, an unorthodox curriculum seems to be succeeding. Duke Bodestart has become intelligent. Shamsay the commander, your aunt has died. Iblis the scientist is converted to Carthaginian paganism. So I can't remember who that was. Trade network, you've built your first hamlet. A hamlet and its upgrades, village and town, will produce extra money if brought into your trade network. Bringing a city into your trade network will reduce discontent there. The trade network consists of all tiles connected to your capital city. Cities and hamlets can be connected to one another via roads, rivers, urban tiles, and even open water. You can connect a city to its harbor with a road. You can check the trade network overlay with the, I gotta find that button on the left edge of the minimap. This one. Or the B key and verify that a city is connected to the trade network by checking that the connected icon is displayed under its city banner. I will extend my trade network to gain more money and reduce discontent. Okay. Lots of goodies to pick up here. Let's start with the crabs. More pastures as well. God, do I really want to risk not? I think I gotta heal. Okay, we should be, yeah, I think the green indicates that discontent is going negative now. But I blew it. I thought I would have been able to extend urban tiles here. Or maybe I can and I just don't have the buildings that I want. Okay, so it's not a terrible idea for us to think about building some wonders. So the lighthouse is very tempting. The Colossus... Yeah, you know what? We'll start with the Colossus. Carthage has begun construction of the Colossus. You know, just build a wonder of the world because I got nothing better to do. They're really ripping this apart. You're now known as Pharaoh the Mason. Ambassador Azurbal the Younger is distressed at the falling out between yourself and his fellow Hanoid family member, General Sapinbal the Younger. It does not reflect well on his leadership as oligarch for the other Hananids to be at odds with the crown, and he would like to intercede on your behalf. This would hopefully improve your relationship with the general. Yes. As many lumber mills as we can get. Okay, we've got lots of citizens in Carthage. Let's start with the Elder Poet. Yeah, Master Poet too. More quarries. I do have a feeling that in this game I overdo it on rural improvements at the expense of urban. But then again, I guess the urban ones always have a technological requirement, and I'm always kind of behind on tech, so. Patriarch Mostar the Pious has died. Matriarch Hanby the Ranger is now head of Carthaginian paganism. Turgado the Scythian is tutored Duke Boshtart, improving his discipline. Simon the Persian. More Wikipedia. Again, I'm sorry I don't have the browser up. Proxeny, or Proxenia, was an arrangement whereby a citizen chosen by the city hosted foreign ambassadors at his own expense in return for honorary titles from the state. The citizen was called Proxenos, or Proxenios. The proxenary decrees, which amount to letters patent and resolutions of appreciation, were issued by one state to another, to a citizen of another, for service as a proxenos, a kind of honorary consul looking after the interests of the other state citizens. A common phrase is Eurgetes, benefactor, and proxenos. A proxenos would use whatever influence he had in his own city to promote policies of friendship or alliance with the city he voluntarily represented. For example, Simon was Sparta's proxenos at Athens, and during his period of prominence in Athenian politics, previous to the outbreak of the First Peloponnesian War, he strongly advocated a policy of cooperation between the two states. Simon was known to be so fond of Sparta that he named one of his sons Lacedaemonas, as Sparta was known as Lacedaemon in antiquity. Being another city's proximos did not preclude taking part in war against that city, should it break out, since the proxenos' ultimate loyalty was with his own city. However, a proxenos would naturally try his best to prevent such a war and to resolve the differences that were threatening to cause it. And once peace negotiations were on the way, a proxenos' contacts and goodwill in the enemy city could be profitably used by his city. The position of proxenos for a particular city was often hereditary in a particular family. If you guys can just give me a quick second here, I need to set up something. And then I also need to... My Dropbox is whining at me. Simon the Diplomat, a member of the Persian court, arrives with a special request. He wishes to remain in Carthage as a foreign ambassador, living among your people while supporting the cause of his fellow Persians abroad. Granting such a position to a foreigner, including a palatial home and a court access, may anger some citizens of Carthago, but it would certainly bolster relations with Persia. I don't exactly want to be making enemies here. But refuse, this foreigner is much too eager to help us. The young master, withdrawing from much of the school's daily lecture, Duke Bonaparte focuses intensely on his study of politics, ethics, and debate. He has even developed a small following of loyal devotees who record his teachings. After several months of focused study, Bonaparte compiles the first true policy manifest. Encourage him to spread these teachings to the people, or request that the court incorporate his lessons. Yep, spread it among the people. Okay. I think we go for the kill here. Okay, so these folks are going to actually head up to... they're going to fight the barbarians when the time comes. To be honest, I am more inclined to keep cranking out warriors for these guys, but let's go for the rancher first. Okay, now I want to start being a little bit smarter about how I'm handling some of these different actions. So, number one, I don't believe Bonaparte has a... Actually, I don't think either of them have a wife. So, we need to make nice with the Didonians again. Ambassador Azurbal the Younger has successfully interceded upon General Sapanbal the Younger on your behalf, but also exposes your weakness. General Sapanbal the Younger is interceded for King Pharaoh the Mason, but we lose one legitimacy. Okay, I need to take a quick second. Sorry you won't hear the music for a bit, but I need to do my usual data work tonight. Normally I would have been done by this point, but I had problems getting started. A new marriage proposal from the Didonians has arrived for your son, Prince Rabi. Sorry, it's just getting loaded. Both look pretty good. Okay. For real this time. This shouldn't be too long. I just need to... Okay. Sorry, I actually have another message I need to send. Okay, sorry. Like I said, it was originally supposed to be a data thing, but I did get a somewhat time-sensitive message. The good news is at the end of the month, I will be done this particular project, so I will not need to interrupt the streams at midnight if they run through. Of course, the trick is I shouldn't be streaming till midnight, so. Was it the 23rd yesterday? Yeah. Weird. Sorry, I need to just verify something here. Okay. Interesting. Aha. That explains something. Okay, cool. Um, Sorry for the silence. There's something that happened on this thing that I wasn't expecting. Okay. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense. I'm just seeing something that happened on Steam that I wasn't expecting, and now it is all coming clear to me. Sorry, one more thing. I stupidly requested an update just reflexively on the site, so it's gonna make my computer work a lot, but we should be fine. Okay. Sporting chances. With increasing recognition of the city of Corrales as the center of culture, there has been a movement from the elders to host a festival of archery. The decree was swiftly issued, stating that in Corrales no other sports shall be practiced. Rival factions have risen up, arguing that wrestling or horse riding provide better sport. The beleaguered city looks to you. Which shall you favor? Let the elders have their archery. Wrestling is clearly superior. Horse racing is the best sport. I think we're going to do wrestling for the... wrestling because we're going to be doing some more infantry soon. Okay, we do have fire in the market, but I want to see if this thing is resolved. Almost. I don't think it's worth jumping back. Nice. Okay. You now have my undivided attention for the next 45 minutes or so. Although, again, I may have to end a little early because it's late. So, a man in the Nora market has been arrested for inciting the public. His crime? After building a large blaze, he proceeded to recite from his holy teachings, the Yasna. This is not the first incident of this kind. We grow intrigued by these followers of Zoroaster. So, release him and permit Zoroastrianism. Release him but forbid Zoroastrianism. Or this is not worth my time. Doesn't say what happens to Nora. It's not worth my time. Azerbal is your ambassador. I think probably charisma is the way to go with that. I could get religious opinion, but yeah, no, we will go for charisma. And more crabs. Okay. Need to make sure we don't lose our... to make sure we don't lose our stuff. Oh, we have slingers of our own. Okay, it's all day. Part of the job here is we built the slinger so that we could build the walls. Now we've got 2 citizens. Yes, I mean the pearls are nice, but it's going to take 12 years. Okay, so we do walls, and then a pair of fishers. Utica. We've got our miner. So we get to expand our borders in both cases. Now, I'm not entirely sure that that border expansion really gets me anything because we more or less sealed the city in like this. So probably that calls for a hamlet. Yeah, we might as well... Oh, wrong one. Might as well take advantage of the opportunity. Okay. I still don't have good answers about what for what I'm going to do with these different... Oh, no, hang on. There's a few things I can do. Okay. News arrives from Assyria that King Ashurbanipal the Noble of Assyria is dead. A new ruler, Queen Benitu the New of Assyria, has taken the throne. Their opinion of you is now pleased. Judaism is founded in Samua. Now, I was originally hoping for that for myself, but Prince Rabi, your son, and Princess Consort Zramond have given birth to a daughter. Duchess Amenmelkart. King Dowager Shada the Builder has died. Oligarch Archibald of Caralis is now the head of the Didonian family. There is no easy day in the life of Duke Bodestart, your son. He has gained discipline, and Amet Milik, the naturalist, has died. Now, I do want the Grove, but they're really pushing me on military drill, and honestly, the barracks is going to help, so I grudgingly accept. I think we're just going to cover... I was originally going to chop down some of these trees, but honestly, I think we're just going to cover it with lumber mills. 1, for the ambition, but 2, also because wood's good to have, and we need to catch up with the other resources. Okay, we can get a chancellor because of the tech. I mean, ideally, it would be a... well, let's just go by the the numbers. Yeah, Hamilcar seems to be the best. Okay, I think this is the last quarry for a while. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with this unit. You know what? We're going to move them to... I should have decided if there were other things. Hey, Index Gnome, how you doing? Trouble on the road. While exploring, your scouts are caught in a thunderous downpour, hopelessly battered and beaten by the storm. They are suddenly approached by strange travelers. After an initially tense standoff, foreigners provide aid to your scouts and share that they are from a far-off land, Hatti. These saviors explain that they are followers of Judaism, which encourages kindness and charitable aid. They lead your scouts to a nearby ruin where they group shelters together until the storm passes. How will you react to the tale of these kind foreigners? So send gifts of thanks to Hatti, praise their bravery and heroism, or send a cursory message of gratitude. We can send gifts. Or not. Snubbed by Banatu. After the death of Queen Ashurbanipal, the noble of Assyria, rule of Assyria has passed to Queen Banatu, the new of Assyria. It is soon after that you learn that you have been snubbed. Queen Banatu, the new of Assyria, has sent diplomatic gifts to all the neighboring nations, yet nothing to you. Is this deliberate antagonism or a mistake that should be overlooked? Sort out the... that's good. So we can ignore it and send a traditional gift. Refuse to send any gifts for extra legitimacy, but we could sort out the miscommunication, get extra legitimacy and the improved opinion. The import and export business. Oligarch Sofonisba of Salde strides into your chambers late one evening, her dress fluttering with each step. I've simply heard the best news. Are you familiar with Salde? Well, the city has been growing like grass and they're looking to expand their industries. I thought I'd clue you in and see if you wanted to invest in one of our little ventures. As she lays out the details of the various operations, you've decided to support which operation. So we could add horses if I had the orders. This is why I regretted doing that big move. I support the import and development of honey and will provide capital. Now, we already have honey, so I love the idea for game, but I'd have to do it on credit. Well, you know what? I'll pay for the honey as long as it means I don't have to deal with a favor. Politics studies. Now that Duke Bodestart has completed his study of politics, how will he contribute to the court? So he can be a judge or scholar. I think I prefer scholar to judge. All right. Oh, interesting. I had a freebie. All right. If you have researched the spoked wheel technology and you have an available candidate on your court with the zealot, judge, or builder archetype, then you may appoint a chancellor using the glowing quill pen icon in the top right of the screen. We'll say, I will find a better candidate. Caravan of Hittite performers makes a stop in Nora to celebrate the promising relations between our nations. Among the troupe is Satanduepra, heir to the Hittite throne. Throughout the evening, you notice her catching the eye of your heir, Rabbi. The two young couple appear to be getting along well, which may be cause for concern. So let the heirs have their harmless fun. The Gauls apparently would be unhappy about that. So what's the story going on here? Oh, it's because they're bitter. They must stay focused on their responsibility, warn my heir of falling in love with a foreigner, or express our concerns to King Mirsili of the Keystone of Hatti. So he is the heir. How old is the other bitter person? 49. So probably by the time he inherits the throne, this won't be a problem. Let the heirs have their harmless fun. As our treasuries fill with the finest luxuries, the Hanoid family has come to demand a cut of the wealth. They desire more of our collected pearls, or they will make our job of governing difficult. I would prefer to have given this to the Didonians, but we will be getting more pearls later, so sure, send that along. We will spend money to bribe the Didonians. And that's the year. Duke Butterstart has reflected on his recent experiences and has absorbed many important lessons. He has gained 1 wisdom. Tergato the Scythian has tutored Duke Butterstart, improving his discipline. Unrequited! Oh, this is so sad. The court receives sad news from Hati. Satandulupa, heir to the Hittite throne, has taken her own life. In a final message, she lamented her unrequited passion for Rabi, a love she was forbidden to pursue. Struck by this tragedy, Rabi retreats to his quarters. So we can sit with Rabi and listen and become compassionate. So the Thracians will not like that, and my ambassador will actually dislike that. We could send condolences to Hati, and I no longer become greedy, so I actually like that. Yes, so I will send condolences instead of compassion. Even though it's actually going to hurt relations with Hati in the long run. You can use your Chancellor to help manage your realm with special missions. Just select the portrait of your Chancellor in the top right, and then you will see their available actions in the panel on the left side of their screen. A Chancellor can give family gifts to improve relations with your powerful families, lower discontent and pacify city, and even imprison troublesome characters. I will send my Chancellor on important missions. The pitfalls of restraint. As you walk the halls of the palace, hearing the calming patter of earnest ministers and efficient coin counters, a young warrior stops before you, begging for you to consider the lack of martial prowess in your court. We strain ourselves for naught but coin, a bitter and harsh mistress, growing weak in the process. So a sufficiently disciplined and wealthy court is necessary, not bigger muscles. You make a well-reasoned argument. We shall allow unarmed duels. Or we cannot build an empire while fighting amongst ourselves. I would have liked that. So... I don't like the loss of the gold, but I think we will say you make a well-reasoned argument. We shall allow unarmed duels. Okay. Almost done repairing from the raid. Kind of want to move this unit forward. Okay, I think we're going to get ready to take on the barbarians. Oop. Premature. I think I want to see new play. There's stuff I can still see here, but not as much. And I suspect probably once we get some settlers down, well, we'll see where it goes. Ooh. I gotta move on the barbarians and quick. Reports of a tribal raid from a Scythian encampment near Lilybaeum. Okay. That's going to be a problem. I am going to take the free chariots. There's going to be some consequences for that, but... I'm hoping we don't lose this to Assyria. I do want to follow up on this when I can, but let's start with promotion. Sentry. Lilibaeum's already got the walls. So I think I said, yeah, so the plan here, let's deal with the citizens first. So I'll take a rancher to expand the borders. And essentially miners because I can. And then we'll start considering some warriors. The Drill Master. The armies of Carthage march in a procession through Carthago under your watchful gaze. Your military might is something to be feared, and people have taken to calling you the Drill Master in recognition of your ability to wield the armies of our nation with ruthless effectiveness. Ambition and pride swells up. Perhaps this is the prime opportunity to pursue a new ambition to ensure your legacy. Treasuries will hold the goods we seize from foreign lands. Control 6 treasuries. We will gain the support of the gods of Carthage in our wars, and control 8 shrines. I have no idea how I would control 8 shrines if I'm only allowed to build 4. So let's do treasuries, because those are straightforward to build. 4 grabs. Okay. All the nations. A group of curious Babylonians appear on the path ahead as if expecting our men. Removing all weapons, they place them on the ground at their feet. The leader, who speaks our language, expresses excitement over this momentous meeting, offering a gift of fine meat and wine. Babylonia means us no harm, or so they say. The scouts accept this gracious gesture. Babylonian ways are not our ways, or we will not pretend to respect these Babylonians. They are low on the list, but we will say Babylonian ways are not our ways. Governor Zanbak the Merchant, governor of Carthago, has died in office. Your vassal family appreciates the gifts that Chancellor Hamilcar brought, but your other subjects view this as pandering and a sign of weakness. Okay. Lots of stuff to do. The court mourns. Today we grieve the death of Zanbak the Merchant, a member of the Carthaginian court. Her spirit will be venerated and her deeds will be remembered. She served us well. Death of a governor. Governor Zanbak the Merchant, governor of Carthago, has died in office. So, Bodestart is corrupt, so we'd lose money, but we'd get ridiculously good science. Alternatively, we really drill down. The Scythians kind of good for everything. Okay, the magic moment has come. Oh no, hang on. I was going to build a pasture, but no luck. Ah! Assyria claimed the city site. That was mine. I built 2 workers? That was reckless. I think when the time comes, I will use them to build roads. Okay, well, we need to control the 6 treasuries, so let's start building treasuries. Again, I'd prefer to build a warrior, but... Prince Rabe, your son has fallen ill. Okay, so Gabe's recommending land consolidation. I am inclined to agree because of the lavender and the honey. Composite bow is also tempting because of the improved range. But yeah, land consolidation makes sense. Okay, one thing I want to do... I want to get the slingers doing their thing as soon as possible. I think we'll focus down one of the units. And we will bring help. Your nation has trained its first mounted melee unit. These units move quickly and have the unique ability to rout your enemies, allowing you an additional attack if the first one destroys a unit. Using mounted units to finish off enemies is the way to go. This is a really cool ability for like cavalry, but it's one that I haven't really used all that well. Yeah, I'm really annoyed with myself that I built this unit. Interesting. So I can't build an Odeon that... Yeah, man. Oh, but this does count as an urban one. Okay, we'll skip the warriors. I don't have much to do with them. Okay, I think it makes a lot of sense to go for a barracks or a garrison. I'll start with a garrison. Okay, let's start doing some of these actions now too. So... Oh, nope, I can't. So what I will do is I'll move the chariot. I want to get them closer to the Gauls because it looks like there is an attack about to happen. Oligarch Arishbal of Carolus is dead. Princess Consort Zramond of Lilybaeum, your daughter-in-law, is now head of the Didonian family, and Marbel the Builder has died. Today we grieve the death of Marbel the Builder, a member of the Carthaginian court. His spirit will be venerated, and his deeds will be remembered. The nation mourns. He served us well. Okay. There's a few things I want to get through. I think this might be the last turn. I realize I'm not actually at the end of my time. I got to get this guy into safety. I realize this is a bit of an early end for me, but I actually have quite a bit to get through. So I figured this turn would not be a bad one to finish on. Okay, Carthago, what do we do with you? Got that little to do, huh? Okay, let's take a look at my court. So my wife doesn't like me. My son? Yeah, doesn't like me. Let's try to influence them. So interestingly, I've actually managed to get everyone doing something, it seems. That's rare for me. So I'm assuming this is going to bring me back to the entrance here. So the idea of this being, well, yeah, if we can control sort of this whole area here, particularly this city, we've got a pretty strong position against Assyria. Assyria declares war on Babylonia. Prince Rabi has recovered from his malaise and is no longer ill. Alright, converting the heir. On a diplomatic visit to your court, the royal family of Persia sit beside you as honored guests for the evening feast. The heir, Prince Araku of Persia, is intrigued by your jewelry with Carthaginian pagan imagery. As the meal concludes, he asks for a text to learn more about the religion. The staunch Zoroastrian, Queen Astar the Just of Persia, is unlikely to take kindly to your influencing Araku. What reply will you give? Gift him a lavish scroll of the teachings, or encourage the inquisitive heir to go to Astar with any more questions. Okay, she is going to be a problem for a while, but yes, I do want to spread Carthaginian culture. Spanbal the Younger, the general of the Slinger, is too old and is retired from the field. Okay. It's not really that great for Slinger, is it? I guess I did say this is the last turn. Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll keep going then. I have a little bit of time before I need to repair the... build the museum. Okay. It's telling me to make a lot of luxuries. Go for the Master Acolyte next. Oh, so many workers. I do think it is a problem that I'm not actually making the most of these units. I'm going to try the garrison, and my hope is that we're going to be able to put a barracks out ahead of it. This one's going to be a bit different. I'm actually going to put an Odeon here, and that's because the military buildings will be on this side. Okay, everybody's already occupied, so that's good. I'm going to move the chariot up again because we want to take on the barbarians if the need arises. Actually, we can do that already. I'm sure the Babylonians will be happy that we're saving them. Okay, next one is the... We'll turn over and then that should be it. Reports of a tribal raid from a Scythian encampment near Lilybaeum. Prince Rabi has converted to Carthaginian paganism. Duke Bojstart has reflected on his recent experiences and has absorbed many important lessons. He has gained one wisdom. You've successfully exerted your influence upon Princess Consort Zramond of Lilybaeum. This is Consort Zramond of Lilybaeum, who becomes influenced by King Pharaoh the Drill Master, and the intercession mission of Ambassador Asdrubal the Younger to Matan of Carthago has led to an event. You owe me, Ambassador Asdrubal. Actually, hang on. I can minimize this and... There we go. Otherwise, I won't get anything done. So, a mixed session, I feel like. Like, I really enjoyed Old World, but I feel I fell back into some of my bad habits. So I'm definitely going to need to shore up the military. I think my expansion is all over the map. So I'm going to need to figure out what to do about that. But, I mean, in terms of the leaderboards, we're doing okay. So, I don't know. We'll see where we're sitting. Now, unfortunately, I don't know many people online, and I seem to be the only one doing Old World right now. So, unfortunately, even though I am ending things, I mean, honestly, for 12 minutes, it's a rounding error at this point, but I think I'm going to have to wrap it up here just because I am actually feeling quite tired. And like I said, there is a lot for me to get through tonight still. So I'm going to need to sort of really sort of keep my focus, especially because I already had like a partial sleep. So I'm going to be feeling a bit groggy through doing all of this. So thank you everybody for watching. Sorry there's no host tonight, but just a few updates in terms of what we'll be doing for the overall week. I think we're going to be doing our final early access session of Industries of Titan Wednesday. We should be finishing up the campaign. On Friday, I have been doing Cyberpunk quite a bit, but I feel like maybe we can change things up. On the other hand, I did quite like Cyberpunk last week, so we'll see. If you dislike it, let me know. But if there's no objections, I'll leave that open as an option. There are some other things that I want to do, but it is kind of a nice change of pace. And then, of course, the one drawback with that is I need to figure out where Terra Invicta fits in the overall scheme of things. It will come back. I'm just trying to juggle the schedule in a way that makes sense for me. My reluctance on doing Terra Invicta on the Friday is just because I would likely be doing it very late and inconsistently, although that's obviously what happened here. So in any case, again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you Wednesday, or next week if you're looking for Old World. Until then.